set Kwabna Kakari of Ephira fame, Radio Gold fame, a happy birthday. And Uncle Titi of Titi Brothers, it was your birthday. So I'm said Nipa and 9 way Namakai because me Radio Gold days, no. It was the late President Rollins, Titi Brothers, Kofuri, and I think is it Majaro? And Nipa for no more 20th, 21st, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th of June. I wish all of you, TT Brothers, and then and then your Kofuri or Wawoda, your friend Kwabna set Chere Kakeri. Happy birthday, Sunkuna, Mede Ebao. Now, on our you pay so I wish Mami Dufi or say, do friend Mami Blake or Taifa, if you mark Kwabna, Mami Sewa, Obia, almost you know, birthday 3 days ago. Happy belated one encore Enfra Emamu. Nana Mpensenpensenmu UK Waba Ghana also should be. We are grateful. We thank you so much. Sansuna also I would do our day Nebia no. We appreciate you so much. Malta Guinness Egusuka said to the original Malta Guinness on Ewujaswa Ghana Ascenso Diano Efamo. Very important. Nebia da Mekachera. Mr. De Ghana Ascenso Diano ye logo no Efamo. A key into Malta Guinness for Koso Kyle say the say crowd here very authentic refreshment immune boosting vitamin B in Abacao into a just a one nom no bribia dano na a boa quanstrom Koso crowd ya make us a pass Ghana ya sense the logo no a farm very important. Dr. Bana Kwaba na once a lecturer always a lecturer. I will tell you, Kwaba, you are celebrating your 30 years, our 30 years of our parliament.
Yes.
Great. Bibi Iboko. I see. You want to take a gra?
No, unfortunately. But it looks like a comments are more, you know.
Yeah.
If that is what.
Yeah. The exodus of Ghanaians to foreign countries. No?
Yes.
Specifically Canada. And for June, first quarter, Ghana has spent 126 million on visa acquisition. So what I say, you say worrying, but me not be breaking down, and it's in your area. It's in Mediana. So over 63,000 applicants. So what I say, in just this quarter, Chrese, bibi atochiwo baby, but what mean to guesswork? We are probability, and then Obinsu come on the bar nano debi. It would be what national this uncle one and open be debat. Maybe a whom here say you be assessed thoroughly. So to me, I could draw catch there say or no necrata a book or kutano a passport. No, so our passport name Munyam na who then a bro entity Ghana Sukus in Nadi Bema, I will be a PhD holder. You know, how do we situate the two and the consequences on our future generation?
Well, mine a mechia na mechia mini ultimate. The first I going to mechia the constituency for. Now, my shout out to His Excellency John Dramani. As a university teacher, one of the requirements for promotion I have very important is service to community. To put it, what addition was here and now we trade with in and for so bang, and I mean,
Saturday,
Eliba.
For
not necessarily but I mean
the bigger picture is your country.
Yeah, the country, yeah, that's right. And it, what it tells you to say, it is not enough to have academic qualifications, but it is what you do with it.
It is not enough to have academic qualifications,
yeah, that's right.
But it is what you do with it.
Academic qualification, which is very, very important. And I think that the affair in this context, we may not blame that gentleman. I mean, I've not heard him by a commentary, but I don't know what exactly he said. But if
he puts premium on the Dutch passport to a PhD holder in Ghana.
I don't know how you are able to compare that. Because
so those are areas. Whether the comparison is wrong,
it's very wrong. Because you see, the point is that
that is what we have to look at.
You see, the point is that whichever way you go, there are a lot of people with Dutch passports, American passports, whichever Canadian passports, who are destitute in these countries. They cannot even afford plane tickets back, to their own country. I have met several of them. Sometimes you travel out, you meet Ghanaians. I go home, for only God knows how long, and the person is unable to, in spite of all the opportunities I have available. Anything that made me feel say, it is not about the passport that the person is, touting and parading around. It is what he does with himself when he finds himself in. Because
people have same passport. They have
street. In the heart of Washington, 12 o'clock, lunch, you see people queuing in blacks and whites. You ask yourself, say, is it not the land of opportunities now? Be a person of so what it means is that is not what will make you who you are not saying acquisition of the passport, and visa now. But when you get there, because if you decide to go to take to drinking and whatever, you become as useless as anybody or had more cover the eye. So the discussion, the discourse is about what you do with yourself. Anything that make us say. One of the most important things, and when they are considering you as a lecturer for promotion to whatever level, is your impact on the community.
Okay, so
it's very important.
Yeah, doctor.
Yeah.
You are into this research, and you be an interesting area to do research. And as you say, you have that research already. With much share with us.
Mina kamana anope maminchie wenti for minchie Ghana for you. Minchie me aso me constituency for Obuasi East for anope. Yeah, kopra me da say me say de side tane de mini but me say to say ne ya kan bi e wo internet so ya tie eye man kasa so mo eye mo commentary me some more run anope ene some of the synopsis of interviews ni bia mo ya trotra e say ya kan na omahine de mekane say ofa no abibrema eye migration a friend say international migration say nipa dodo na etu kwan ewo abibremu emema Ghana esoka ho ekọ amanani a emi say eye ade a ye bekane say eye tetetete asem a ye mu bi esase say ye te ho asem mpo no na se bi o na mi say ye nyakora nduru emi say JHS mpo say medimani bu a first na mi so na metese so obi so me pesika na mako Libya na se menya kodro Libya metumi enya akwan na mako Italy emi se yade ayate emi se yedi ye ni kura hwe eye international news a se ofa no eye East African countries se Somalia ne Eritrea mokra de ne se hode asem ne bobo wo hwe nipa dodo a etumi efa boat efa se boat ye emi se bia nka wokọ ebia friend say yede ko eye eposoko yinam ya enipa dodo na tumi fa etnem say one dey cross eye the Red Sea no say na be ya ometwam from Morocco no omatumi akọ ebia Spain and I say ebi muso etumi akọ it say Italy de bia ne yakra me no kase kra so be Google phone so a obehu nipa dodo ene yai omasenke ewo saa epokase enum a obawu ni nyina ye saa international migration asemiya free air sub-Saharan Africa eko eye amanone enho asem na ye ken me say me tie mfonyi ne me hu ye na me tie eye commentary ba ya na je say wo hwe eye the Canadian embassy ho Ghana hana me say enye Ghana pe na serve me say a serve a host of other West African countries nti semedema so etie asem na eye narrator na no narrative story na chine kana asamba ko kan ne say enipa dodo na yehu omo ho na student na me enye me wawa bebre because of Osha the United States of America cra almost data bia and say afio mu di two Dutch say visa application e ba omo ho no se ofa na ye esukuu fo a omunya se ofa dada etwem se afia etwem na say omunya de obunu ka say emmo ho no almost be say 31% or ha anchichemu aduasa baako extra will say any padodro na pe visa etukwan ne bedro na no akosuade sukuu fo na se ofa Ghana asema omanhene enya me wanwa bibre se ne maka no enya me wanwa adenti na make se enya me wanwa omanhene se o hwe data available se ofa enipa mo university Ghana High University public university American private university we have over 600,000 students in Ghanaian public universities as of today. In fact, so far the number of students at University of Ghana graduate undergraduate students or postgraduate in 2023 and 11,000 students.
11,000
University of Ghana. So offer a UCC undergraduate students last year 2023 UCC graduated 27,467 students. So offer KNUST graduated 13,170 undergraduate students.
These are wild figures.
Wild figures on my hand. Now, I didn't know this huge number of figures on my hand. The Biameka say anytime I'll be implementing policies, policies in the so be brave. Protocol ceremony, I say it has an externality. The externality means say a so a bit from about. Now, a bit to me a positive externality to so papa, a bit to me so am so a bonnet. And who implemented policy in economy is only control over the outcome. And written a can be protocol assembly say you can ensure equal access, but you cannot ensure equal outcomes. A bit to me will be a kind, but yen to me so yes, oh, we are more be a whole kind into no, send a person can I don't know, every year, say, oh, fast who are summer, and we to make say a free university. Obi beko obewa kosua de obi so beko the same university na me senior colleague or lecture de uni me sa senior me came say me the South Africa na me try de obi so beko the same university na ya ni free so nkosua de no but okwa wi e no baka akonom ade obewie no ade wa bodam. So
it fits into the orchestra. It's about how you use what you have, whether PhD or whether Dutch passport.
Yes,
because similarly we have people with these passports are off.
Yes, intitene me can say so wushima say the moment on mine ube implementing policy be say free senior high school enrollment be to me across over be say 2.5 million. Let us say wo fa wo tertiary institutions first na den ke friend say bottlenecks no and as a barrier no when you efi ho it says nipa dodo na be to me
enya akwanya
na say nipa dodo na enya akwanya na so mu wi and kure wo mu ne say want to me because a police no rule want to me so ensure say police no rule no the outcome say nipa be free ma ba no so no wo enyoba e betumi absorb wo at the point e plan no so be take emre bebre say adwuma sem say ho hyehyɛ no so be take ebre kakra say usua economies wo be ka say so person set planter long term just say want me be say afi baako mienu miensa enye because machinery so be training nipa no kwanya enimdie ne tete so be nya de friend say capital now they are set up process no say market no mpo be ho say de obeye no enipa no dodo na betumi ato na ma emfaso abre sa company no ntotumi afa nipa aduba no eno so be take time into na kra ne say a long run and as a long term in this say wo hwe Ghana de na say wo hwe yesu ko asem na ye kana se wanya nipa bebrete se data ya media ma we no mu free university yaba na bia animanim ya no wo system no entumi absorb say nipa ni nyina no ade ba ko ne so ene nipa dodo na be hese ne yo se yeden yetu kwan na yekọ ne yeden yekotoa yede sua so ewe ebia amanone na ebi Christ yekotoa de sua so a eho no se wa se yesua de na de se mi se o ma hene me meti he mi wie Ghana me wie me masters wa ha me wie na mso ne master PhD me kwakwa na outside makone nam Norway makone nam South Africa ma trade or South Africa me wie ne me dia ba betena ha me dia me gada nyina after that me dey to studio ha me no kase ya me dey ebiso extra dia sesi me dey kase me obebs 46 students me supervise wo so enti enu nyina ebi no enti se ye hwe data na de me meka ne se e wo se yetumi interrogate data ne yi ne ye hu nipa dodo a omu free Benin Togo ne other nations no eba na yehu Ghana for do so omo apply to say the narrative ne kan na yehu school for do a ewom na yetumi hu the reason tia enipa dodo na apese omo ko oman bi to say Canada na omo ko toa omo school pon so e was yehu sa dynamics no na say yetumi tia sie ya na after yehu say we see yetumi design policies a ebetumi absorb say ni pay na be de bia me ka say the exportation of friend is saying technocrats no enkanye adebone. So Osha Omabi to say India. One of the places are Omunye Sika Frimu Pa, ni Padona, or Matia to say Egu Ewiasimu. So my Hubekaya, India 4 years, some India 4 years, they will invest in information technology. Ne Ewiasia Canina Esromo. Say I have grown no money. I said, I mean, no time because say lead Google, one a CEO or Indian, Apple CEO or Indian. Offer all the top tech companies are almost CEOs and pennyfor, including even some countries' prime ministers. They are of Indian origin. Because omo that conscious effort say omo be ma omo ni population entity ne ye ja omo egu ewiase afana so omo nko ye adwuma no omo fesika ne ye dey emre fie me say where yi remittances asewum into osha remittances one of the highest source of foreign exchange for Ghana. It is a wo 2021 2022 kwa remittances Ghana for omo wo amanone the almost $4.5 billion and about Ghana. It is a way in Nigeria, Ghana the second highest receiver of remittances in sub-Saharan Africa. Into my it was a to me today Tanasi. Not yet to me interrogate no new policies a bit media go aquem. Media de be and make kawa with it is enya adeboni pese. Say Osha or maybe to say a Kenya, a bibrim here. Nansenya Kenya and Saudi Arabia are buying. I akọ apam say afi bi omo the nurse for any woman minimum de nipa be yes say ebe ma Saudi Arabia no makwa kwaye adwuma wo ho na so mo kwaye adwuma nipa ba ko bia no e wo se ne sika ye betuama no yetimu oha enchichemu edu edema Kenya aban ya ade a abeye policy Kenya aban asase any Saudi Arabia.
So we need to move further, not
move
just
further.
And get the understanding.
Let's betumi restructure and necess and prem need the capacity to absorb a dear kwan betumi afa so restructure no na betumi enya emfaso na a benefit ni problem.
Okay, quite imagine about Ghana for free across South Africa so mo compare American visas.
Yes.
So who nipa Badwam Mpensenpensenmu South Africa embassy or US South Africa for to come be base we other nationals also abe join.
In fact, me am to her na apply for visa to Europe no. Sometimes me kwa me pesa fi dey na sunti pesa me ka. Nipa dodo na me koto mo say ya ki wo ho no. Let me aka say me apply for visa to Norway, to Switzerland, to a whole lot of countries, to Australia and other places of mine. Any time you make course and apply for visa in any of this a friend is in Johannesburg I say na make you obe put the power dumping be bregu ho and so me angasa person me West African into me to ano na me so me nua no bi be na ye dodo na en wo mo sa
visa so doc okay te be also but doc there's this thing by Research Trust Limited. What's the MPP for Muslim running meter? They be a demand for December. I have to be honest with you. Obo Kliti according we need issues with running meetings in BIB. Omo we omo campaign team, omo flag bearer, omo TS, omo Aka manifesto. And this group comes out. In fact, last week on the Kusi said the NIB, that's the NIB report, National Security report, and also making kai. And I think it's all because people feel that there's a certain delay on the part of the New Patriotic Party in terms of pushing out that name for a running mate. Inti Obia the probable is to hold but this one by Research Trust Limited. One also at the but just those salient points, because you're a researcher and methodology. Data for the survey was collected over a 3-week period during which the flag bearer of the MPP was making a campaign tour across the country, May 6 to May 26, 2024. It was conducted in all 16 administrative regions of the country. A total of 140 constituencies out of the 275 were sampled for the study, representing about 52% of all constituencies in Ghana. The number of sampled constituencies within a region was proportional to the total number of constituencies in the region, though some considerations were made for regions where the MPP has more votes in the 2016 and 2020 general election. That is more constituencies were sampled in the Ashanti, Eastern, Greater Accra, and Western relative to regions such as the Northeast and Arab regions, for example. In each sampled constituency, the survey aimed at interviewing 4 constituency executives, giving a total of 560 constituencies level data. In addition, 4 random polling stations within the constituency were sampled. In each sampled polling station, a total of 3 MPP polling station executives were randomly selected and interviewed. This gave a total of 720 polling station level interviews. An additional 4 first-time voters, 2 male and 2 female, were possible in each selected polling station were sampled to respond to these questions. That is, data from 960 first-time voters were collated as part of this survey. The total sample for our analysis was 2,240 respondents, and this is the results. And they talk about the figure, the regional preference of MPP executives for a potential running mate. The results show that more than 9 in 10 executives prefer the running mate to come from Ashanti region. That's 92%. And in this figure, we sought to understand what the preference of MPP party executives were in the choice of a running mate. The inclusion criteria for the list presented was based on what the media reportage has been on specific individuals regarding the vacant running position. The results on which of the following do you prefer as a running mate going into 2024 general elections suggest that more than 2/3 of the respondents preferred Honorable Matthew Opoku Prempeh, 70%. This was followed by Honorable Freeman Osei Opare, 10%, Honorable Yao Osei Duchum, 9%, and Honorable Henry Kwabena Kokufu, 7%. The reasons for respondents' choice included the popularity and marketability of the candidate, 81%. Someone who could face the NDC boot for boot, 78%. 78%. Someone who understands grassroots politics, 78%. And a known party faithful, 71%. It comes with a table. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. The conclusion is that the major players in the selection process of the running mate of the MPP are the flag bearer, the National Council Central, and it's given that explanation and all. But Doc, Monfanche, because these things they make swaba, whether you like it or not, but sometimes we should just weigh where it's coming from and the impact on the choice of a running mate. Mo ya mana bet is a running mate BBB, and you know, look at the names above. Freeman Opare. Napo, Dr. Osei Duchum, Dr. Kokufu, and then some other names be like Honorable Brian and all those things. So this research, as they say, is based on radio acquire research in these basic regions of Makawasem. As a researcher, you follow these conversations and you think that it could be relied on.
Yeah, I mean, say, meaning I will share a methodology now. What kind of maybe send me a researcher. Mr. Mibraki is a researcher. Research be no say, Ubi to me a G2 na podcast in the kind of say, what generalize here. Now it hinges on the methodology. The choir of far so a research no. Send me a utumi a jina so ya ujina so any ankran edi and komo. And no idea in here ye pa. Inti methodology now what kind yana me tie woni de. Make us say the methodology is very thorough. Enye sebi ye busrimika ye some minimum paku omo research na the matching from him so they say omo research fellows ebimu related to Dankwa Institute. But me also me head of research or Dankwa Institute. And the crew say Dankwa Institute your research fellows be brave. Me atama na me research fellow for Dankwa Institute na me puna me Ghana me here. Then na me shadow University of Johannesburg or South Africa. So na me research fellow. There were research fellows who be a big cry adwuma United Kingdom which shadow universities near there. Be musu be brave no so e Ghana ha. Nti yes, it's in order ntino. Say me share methodology now. Then I can say on authority say these are very astute academicians who knew what they were doing. Just say no omuni your more yes. So what methodology na and me say what kind of me huna. It's a mijna methodologies no so the I can't the findings and so one some there. Say methodology no thorough there and enough findings no so no to me in dispute. It is when a methodology is questionable and our issues with the finding. Because yeah, me ami kujina baby na
Sirimu
na me so maybe or my maybe okay maybe in honorable assem na me baby so into say yeah the idea ma honorable ni bejo automatically what down for no because that's what I say yeah. But say my yesa na say me ye no random to say that me cannot me just sampling in such a way say enkoye say me ni nipa woni nipa baako eya damfo na me bi se bi somanasem na mo me bisa randomly me piesi ha me si obi a papa say ye de ade we man oh papa said my kind of wasem senia otie ne senia ba party no money ade an ho nsam tete me dey say ye de man aka ne kwan so eno betumi agina so ka say eno de ne nipa dom no adwene say only ankran bi omo ye papa ya danfo ko din koma eno untumi fa nyina so enkasa because once me ye wadanfo no nkwan de enya de obetumi aka me ho asem bone nti say o hwe methodology ne de na say broni be ka ne say finders no egina eso ewum na me de me ka ne say say akonya ana ato
obia
predi ena se wohwe eye edin a ewo eye findings no mu na even de enka ho mpa ya te no wo abonten a se dodo na no ye be kan se enka eye cut off point anka dodo na qualify se ka yetumi form so ye yi mu baako intermediate de me kan se na se party for dodo na ka dia ene the hakano eye empenyufo a e wo say wo mo na
as the research is saying that these are the council of state no take decision on all these matters.
In fact, the flag bearer himself ono swan say the current vice president Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia ufa general council of the national council of the NPP and regional committees and the parliamentary caucus and say sign the research na kind of and they will say to see power especially the flag bearer himself.
But I want to tell you, it didn't be a strange. It's a chief of staff. Tell me. Wait a minute, they could say, but you could say, because it didn't be what I'm saying.
In fact, woman born with baby woman, me come up. Now I respect all of them very well. But my surprise is how come the issue of vice presidential
has become topical.
BB. It tells you, say.
That's some BB.
Oh, no, not really. But you see, yes, but definitely, I mean, there'll be some
interest.
Interest. But you see, but for this one, it tells you, say, if there are no cracks within the party, then the blocks are entrenched.
On this, based on this one?
Because for the first time, various considerations to the extent said national investment
national
NID4 had to come in, and I read Obi comment if they had come out say General Sidu get our chairman bear the best running mate for Baumianga the one the member out I don't know where they are coming from, but in government, you would want to use them for
some of these things.
But it looks like they are overstretching the whole issue. And I make us say it is either the cracks and various groups that are so entrenched, and people who don't want to, because we share commentaries in Libya, even from the stronghold of the NPP, where people boldly come on radio and criticize some of them, threatening say when they say or select woman. It will what do you call it? It will affect them. You know more because I know say the flag bearer, I think about 99% now they are by the council of elders, like they did.
No, it's a yes or no.
Yes or no. But this time, no, they have Kofano. I think that it shows there are some cracks, seriously. And mending those cracks, no. And up to now,
but maybe in your case, people thought that the continuation with Jenana was a minus. It said it was a plus.
But you see those commentaries, it was not coming from within the party.
Oh, your party people did not comment about it.
No. Ubemu say commentaries na course from the media.
Yeah, they analyze the situation.
No, I don't take. I wouldn't take out some engineering from within the party because definitely you be an and somebody can trigger.
But when you're different,
it can trigger. Somebody can trigger discourse in media, like the NIB issue. Say what informed their decision to go into this. Definitely, I'm sure somebody try, a trigger. And
my checks indicates that when you were in government, some of these checks, on other matters, and that was also party matter when they were invited to do those checks. And
I make say, you see, this government, I'll be surprised if they are not doing it. They are not using
to get some of these information
because the national security these days now,
but they're a relevant body.
But very because they are supposed to. It's all right. Human security is concerned. They work. That's why they employ all manner of people. And I always refer to the era of Jerry Rawlings. Even some teachers were. What do you call it?
National security cap.
Yes. Your BNI guys. They all right near the but you see, and you wouldn't see them. Now you see people wielding Gota and whatever they call themselves, national security operatives near the even during elections, like what's happening at Iowa to say, them parading. I mean, that is not a Juma Wamdi. But again, see, but the Americans say, definitely, some interest group may trigger such a thing.
But is it healthy for the party MPP?
Well, that one, it is for them to tell us. But what I'm seeing is I believe, sincerely, with a little understanding of this political discourse, game, and a woman, the way I didn't know, what it tells me is that there's a deep crack, and now I say there are blocks, and people are not prepared to budge. Everybody has an interest, and therefore they want to push it to whichever level, and that is what is culminating in this surveys.
So actually, at a point is Dr. Apostle Onyina, at a point is Chief of Staff, at a point is Dr. Kokofu.
Yeah, but
at a point is
sometimes I met Kokofu on a program. And I'm saying, Machu Udi, or so, or no crowd there, or yes, only whom come be. But you see. And you, Sebi, Obi anyone why you do ever so good. It's no better. But Chief of Staff, if my memories serve me right, yeah. Me say, "Oh my jingle, me jingle be crying."
Chief of Staff,
yeah, no more.
In Dr. Frank Maro, the boy,
I heard it.
I've been budging for running.
Maybe first time I met as a
really?
This is my
it tells you, say, this is a party that, I mean, internally, they are at crossroads.
Yeah, well,
and they would want to. You see, we want very healthy democracy.
Yeah.
And if the parties are healthy now, we can have a very healthy competition.
Hey, Dr. Moyebi,
and I say you are just recruiting.
But honorable information.
Doctor Nana,
in fact, every political animal, you really knows around. You listen and
Dr. Nana Godfrey Asarieboa, you just got your doctorate. I think some 2 weeks back. Correlations, University of Education, Winnipeg. He wants to contribute an actual write-up. I must say I concur with Dr. Bano's assertion. While the data showing over 63,000 potential immigrants at the Canadian embassy may seem alarming, it is essential to scrutinize the specifics of these travel patterns. Notably, many nationals from Togo and Benin travel through Ghana en route to other destinations. Pursuing intercontinental studies is not problematic in itself. What truly matters is how individuals utilize citizenship or PhD after obtaining it. So, Dr. Nalakon,
but I think that even until recently, if you want to go to Belgium, you had to go to Ivory Coast. Yeah. But, a month wants to come.
In fact, Senegalese and other UK visa, and they come to apply it.
But you see, by the way, the other thing after migration, they all come. I mean, it started with the Jamaica saying they are well documented near slave trade. Yeah. People were moved from left, right, center, and even now you look at what is happening in Mexico and America.
Yeah.
But you see, a lot of it also it's driven by poverty. And I say, poverty. People looking for greener pastures, and it's okay.
Okay, the party what you say, and say my first conversation. The able party. NDC you are kicking.
Certainly.
Very hopeful.
Very, very.
But the normal Google the social contract will come soon.
Certainly.
We'll be assured that it's going to lift us to the next level.
Rightly so.
We should have confidence and hope in you.
If as we speak today, you don't have confidence in the NDC, then I don't know what else. What else you believe? I tell you,
okay, that's what I say. Now, say besi na pa menji NDC ni dia. Na che say unim di obeka.
Because you see, listen, some of my colleagues on the other side, it didn't come. Now, if all the discussions that we do privately, about publica,
most of the private.
Our problem in this country is that we are not honest. We are not truthful. We cannot cry. Because people, Ghanaians have itchy ears. Now, it finds expression in even our church and our beliefs. Sorry, they will tell you the truth. Though. People will walk away from that. Those who concoct and create things are who person will tell them. That is where the people flock to. Now, when we start to say, when we say, we see one time, when we feel they will not even tell you, but that is the situation we find ourselves in right now.
What makes you think your party is so attractive?
Seriously. Because
to Ghanaians?
If you listen to the Ekosono, some are even saying...
You
see, I listened to my madam for Kennedy Japan. Now me hear comparisons here. And I'm saying not too long ago, you were seen as the most honest, a very truthful person who would hit the nail right on the head and speak to the issue as it is. And then Kennedy say, "Oh, Ghana, the moment, but Nigeria, the Ghana. Is that our business? A come do now say who them one. A come and did the other person. The fact is that are we able to put 3 square meals on our table today? Our businesses performing as they were under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. What is the performance of the CD now? We are. I mean,
research and data. Research and data. Men can trust. Now compare apples to mango. Scenarios.
Let me tell you.
You know, from so somebody chips in. At what point in time? Because at what point in time? And if you are seeing us stop away. At what point in time?
Stop. But let me tell you something. Sebiu, I know a DJ Busian. And that is the reason why they will always refer you to Obano. Who say, Namu double and so on.
And your papa.
Nami, we have the bear. Nami, we have the bear. So the bigger.
You won't know about
Obi Catcher say, see, deny hata. What is the weight of the city today? What is the weight of the city?
If you don't know how the audition.
Listen, you see, let's be factual. Me, I am paid in a sense, because of this. The rapid devaluation of the cedi, depreciation of the cedi, me am business I'm starting a private
Ejigu.
I say I have machinery worth millions of Ghana cedis. But nothing is going on because I cannot raise the money to buy raw materials to do the production that I set out to do. Mr. T, before I could finish the second, third batch of products, dollar not jumping from 4 to 11. So what it means is that I need to go look for times 2. And where would I go? Where would I? Over corner banks, say no interest rates, I shoot you up. Now all the banks are. And I read this one, Mr. Jima, the commentary on what is happening with even the treasury bills there. They will say we should be very careful. The way we are journey to invest in Sika or treasury bill. Yeah, here because that's the only source I buy a bobusi and say. Why we are haircut me buy all those. And on the face of all of this, say, we say there's nothing wrong with this economy there. Nah, kakakra. Look, Ghana Statistical Service, one more report about and saying, for convenience and in an attempt to hoodwink the people of Ghana, the AOBN say they took the quarter. Yeah, I'm telling you. And yeah, Dr. Nim, Professor Nim, you. On the presenting comprehensive report on the health, the bill of health of this country. No, the indicators no be. Look, to the extent of 7.3 million Ghanaians go to bed without knowing what they will eat the next day. 17.8% of Ghanaians have no access to education. Another 23% or so, they don't have access to health. They have limited or no access to health. Ghana education grew by negative 4.7%. All of this, you're putting back at the back bench, and you're touting, GDP growth, whatever. Now, besides more economics, GDP growth. GDP growth, yes, it's an indicator, but the other indicators now, which tells us, I say, now, I said something the last time in Parliament. What do you call it? During the budget debate, and you receive something similar. Look, and then, apart from population surge, one thing that has changed and improved access to education in this country is the educational reforms now Jerry Rollins and Baki on. Me be Lego, 9 of us in a year biochemistry. My class 9. Me was Lego no. Now I had a chamber and hall to myself. Every week you could hear lawa. Now you could hear lawa now. They see a cook room. You are going to cause inflation. You are also a makola higher than you the that time not the thermostation. Uber or Kwanzaa. Traffic. I walk on no. And then population has increased. Numbers have increased. People are having access. You see, those days, there were people who worked all their life in the university, but their children could not go to the university. Because Uber we 6 form. Now, can you make a OJ? Family cry piano if you want. And few people have access. We have more of what you call mature students. Juma teachers. Into who said those days no Lego. Who are social sciences near their class now. About 78 to 90 a year. What do you call it? Teachers are more as mature students. Today, because of the educational reforms, the number of years I spending on basic and I'm emphasizing basic, up to what do you call it? Secondary school. I shorten. And it's ultimately ma 22 years and transfer. Because in our Ghanaian setting, somebody who is 22 years still necessarily feeding. Until parents are, compelled to push them into tertiary institutions.
You have a difficulty in appreciating the free SHS. That's why you're beating.
No. You see, when you take that, you see,
you have a difficulty.
I don't have a difficulty.
No, that is where
I am telling you, I went to university free. I went to sing. Oh, please.
But that's why the issue about principle is important.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I went to sixth form free. Sixth form. Now, who from 5 for a scholarship. Uber. What do you call it? University. Free.
Okay,
including feeding and everything.
Dr. Abamba, what can't say me is revealing we cannot be on a particular indicator whilst we leave out those relevant ones. And no way more. Yes. No. We need to attend to that. Me uncle try on Mula for number game park for Daroma. Then we can have another interesting conversation. Bye. Inti Criteria Nantim Kakra. Doc, I'm saying that. Kakao, because so yeah.
Every say me bra penny me lecturer. I say a reforms. And say a year now.
President one is the buy, no.
The buy.
No, he gave. I mean, see, and I mean, try no. Look, it's a very objective power, and I mean, I'm just giving you the basis. Maybe elementary school, middle MSLC. 10 years, and son of secondary school. You understand? Reforms by no crowd who do JSS 3, I'll call Form 3 straight. A lot of people took advantage of that.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I mean, I like I'm as a researcher, and a policy analyst. Mean to mean, because governance they continue. We build upon it.
Yeah.
Inti enona ya build there ni be drew 2017 who say still now irrespective of these reforms bottleneck still exists. Now Oshe data no so be catch us ayampa up until 2017 omahene na Ghana meme ha emema dodo a na omunya kwan kọ secondary school na omodo so chen emma dodo a na omokọ secondary school. Data no, sana data neka. Before, but then the story in Asisa because before no, say me mami anko school. Na me papa so na call kakra nti me say bia say ewie bom de bia di pa bia say nan ana say numa. Ye say na ma na nye den entina fie na me ma na nye de enko. Ye saa de nti na me mami owo me wanko school. Say bi no nje say wa bon ana say onitiu. But because your woman and a man a 9, a man a miensa and son. The Coban say, men are not doing time no a carpenter. The Coban say, it was said, Muniano me manu muko. Now more mano, moton or conomoton and the end of the share Muniano mono. Sana didn't call you until one cus. To be an amica said, so then kind of free such as war in time mono, et say a na. And cat, meme mammy could be to me at rock. Na wakan because one school no kran din koma would say or you very sharp and smart so nti e hono na be be necessary say be to say free SHS a policy a yentumi end to tonase we say aside sa bottlenecks no etumi me say sia me dem me pro women activist I bet me ama e ma dodo na sia no e ko school kra e sen e mema e wo Ghana memu hanu say first na nka be on my back kwa who sa trend no South Africa. Na South Africa e wo ho because of and also underlying conditions apartheid inti. Just Ghana abe one of the countries that say ye trust akwenima ma ye benya a higher ratio of ma woma kosua omunimo de ewo abibimemia because of free senior high school so wo hwe enrollment nimpa yenya almost be 2.5 million enrollment as compared to say minua be data natuma as at 2016 na say yigina 883,000 enrollment and we data no available in betumi I integrate and say educational watch report or issue in February 2024 that was what the data is into no na me gina so akamasini are making now quickly no unia say me ba the issue of economy now yes no correct GDP no idea Bruni Beka Semine Beka say a crude measure of welfare and development. But and the crab also woman say to me so a measure or maybe a kind co and nursing a year D obequati a GDP. And for now no and only idea ba kwa siyesi epesi etumi hwesese oman bi ekọ nanim anase or sign echi a do to say the mechanic a crude measure just say wodi twamfonyi na ensiso se nyenke ye pen pepe saa nanso ye ni ade bia asa GDP a ye de be den ye de betwa saa emfonyi no na de bia na ya na se ye argument na do be bia aya na ne eye politics ntia na metiase te say anano na me wo afidie ba akoso na ne ye di nkomo na ne mu twamfonyi so ye se Ghana ni bia de ka eye 190 million na me ka say okay eno ye GDP to debt ratio asem na ye kan yo the same GDP ya say entwamfoni yi no eno na se do be bi na se enkomo no ekoye die mu a sa GDP na ne afa ne ahwe kadodo ye de ne ye de divide ye say ne wo o ma he wo de ka 190 million ya metie me de ka 190 million na ya ka ne sa eduru be bi ankomo no so ebe koye na eho ne de ye nka be koye ne say o ma he fro bi GDP per capita ti ye fe GDP enya na o ma ne mu nyina ne ye de nipa dodo wo mu no e divide ne ya hwe nipa bi ya sika adem re yi an eda ne tiri so say ye ka data sem ya me boss ya the same thing ye no ye fa eye e ka ye de na ne ya fa nipa dodo wo man ni mu ne ye de divide eno ne ebi mu de nya sa 190 million asem ya me no ken say offer data available at Ministry of Finance ye GDP per and ye GDP dia over 1 trillion 1051 trillion Ghana cedis from 219 billion in 2016, abijina 151 trillion Ghana cedis. So, it is a would the population is divided. The GDP per capita no ejina almost 28,000 Ghana cedis. It is a debt no 190 million no every 28,000 man per head biya no unya an extra 8,000 per head. So it is the same figure no compare in 2016 na yen GDP per capita is 7,700 Ghana cedis. Na your debt is literally 4,200 Ghana cedis. So otifim to say yes, nominal analysis na per head no unya roughly about 3,400 Ghana cedis compared to 8,000 today. So into me say yes you GDP nkwa entwamfoni ni but ye ni bibia ye de be compare say nipa ni edi ya na say omundi so what the deputy etomton na me senior brothers who can the drivers are very very critical na eno ya de ba ko ntame de me ka say eye the bit say free senior house say o ka eye literacy deficit no eye ade a yentumi entoto no ajeje mu say wo hwe eye sub-Saharan Africa eye abibiba mu ha yen literacy rate your average literacy rate is 67.4%. Say OSHA eye 2021 population and housing census your literacy rate Ghana high literacy rate is 69.7 or 69.6% thereabout. Ye wo the average sub-Saharan African literacy rate ya trame kakra bi. Na just say eni padodo na o see otumi the policies egu akwama ebetuema ni padodo na eden ebeko sukuu.
Exactly.
It is a free say ya de ba ko be ni padodo na akosuku a ya de o say aban bi anase Ghana ni bia no etumi boy ensem na yetumi ede enhyehyeye ene ahoden pa beta kira sa policy no betumi eden abane akonanim na ye literacy rate na 2021 population and housing census just 69.4% no etumi emove eko BS almost BS 80% within the next 4 or 5 years because so far or maybe to say a Seychelles omu literacy rate 96%, the highest in Africa. So into where say or to me share egu akwama amani padodo na yeden ekosuku na no ne ade ba kwa e was Ghana ha free such any other policies especially at the tertiary level also no they betumi ede enhyehyeye egu akwama they betumi ama tertiary level no so sa bottlenecks and kakra e wo ho na ntino e manipa no wie ebia secondary school a enka emani entumi ensan ko nanim eno so ye be ye fro na ye literacy rate no etumi eden akọ nanim te se na sa deficit na me bra panyika na yetumi eye fro na de me totokra ye drivers no se o hwa ohun se o ma hene ebre bia yiwo mu no ene be determine ade a eno na ebema wo GDP na eden akọ nanim. That is basic economics. Enti wo hwe ebre a menu mienu ne ye nyina te se na me bra panyika ye wo mu sesi ai na eye the age of information communication technology bre. Enti se oka eye statistical service report na omudi tu dana ade ba ko ema Ghana GDP etumi ekọ nanim pa eye the information and communication sector a contribute to 17.9% or ha nchechebu donson echirupon kono So who am I here? Into where did the sa economic center na me chira de Sunday weekend na me chira me catch me so then say anytime I be taking economic decision biano, it creates another problem. There is what we call spillover. The spillover can be positive. A bit me aya idea e won so papa. A bit me say aya idea e di insusanso bone ebeba. So it is our information technology say ya wo hwa eno ne idea say e di wiase so nyina. It is wo your man bia na say be wo vision anase wo won kan ko e wo wani so a including digitalization a idea ho na obema wanipa akoso kese. It is wo hwe data ya da ho ya. It is clear information technology and the major driver. It is a cobasa so when you cross hard no ho a na ama baby so ye den ko fom ho kakra sana en community but eno nkyere se bia en se ya papa enwu akwan mu ntina sa baby no ye den ko fom but the kyere won se I say sia no usika dodo no wa ho de dodo na wo dey share information technology because eno ne ade a ebetumi ama Ghana aye den akonanim ewu ewiase mo. Into the kind of minute yarding, but I was saying to me, who the age we find ourselves near to me who say, and Kobasa, you bring all the sectors of the economy, no, say, contribute to into the economy. Koba, near another age, anymore, we are similar. Sa sector will most likely lead and contribute to your GDP. Into another kakra, a percent medical with GDP.
Okay, so as we wrap up,
quick one. You see, yes, secondary education is good, and we need to make sure, say, secondary education economy, including free SHS. But you see, we share statistical service findings now. The problem is not at the senior high school. The problem is at the basic level. Because the number of children who are out of school, they have 21% or no estimated. It is between ages of 5 and 15, which is very dangerous for the future. Because, say, if you are talking about information technology, that's the foundation, you know. Man for no be making use of it, you know. Any honor, it's worrying because the attention is and then you can't BBI is free SHS, BBI is free SHS. But you see, if you go to our especially our public schools, public basic schools, now people are crying. A lot of people will not even take their children to school because the public schools, you know, they are seriously under resourced. They work under very deplorable, you know, conditions. School buildings. I looked at the Joint News program here. Oh, ama attention. If we are looking at education, I believe that must be holistic, especially from basic to the what do you call the senior high. No? And it's I subscribe seriously to the fact that we wanted to from primary school to senior high. No, we wanted to classify all as basic. At the time, you one at a go. So the others, you know, going to the university, going to a technical university, going into other programs, a choice. But this one, at least everybody must have, you know, access to, because you see the effect of it is one, obi wo hono owie junior high school or illiterate, the person can read and write. Such a person is trainable in every sphere. But if the person doesn't get data, who say at the end of the day, you know, the person might go into some training, some form of training, but because of numeracy near the, you know, they cannot. And that's the reason why we businesses in this country, when you go to Makola, you go to our markets and other things. One thing that is missing, any measuration, how do they even measure whatever they are doing? Say they may be a proper accounting of their businesses now. Now, who say, Mikoi, this is Bakoto bottle bako. It's 5 kilos. Me ba na me the winning ababisiso. A lot of the time, no, because there's no measure.
Okay, so because of your brain, you know,
yeah,
Fachemi, Elibesiha. But I am just happy that your flag bearer is putting out a story which I think we'll discuss some other time.
Yeah.
About say Your flag bearer says that I will ensure greater transparency in government.
Certainly.
Okay, on that.
Yes, you see,
we have a conversation.
On that note, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, he crossed out